So we wait for the score for Scott Keswick. There's Shannon Miller. She knows they've gotten off to a good start. That's a pretty impressive pair there. Two young gymnasts on the national team on the rise. Shannon Miller gets a 9.925 for her work on the uneven bars, and the score for Scott Keswick is a 9.85. So with a 19.775, they're our leaders in round one here in Tallahassee. We'll be back. And welcome back once again to Tallahassee at the Civic Center. It's the McDonald's International Mixed Pairs Gymnastics Competition. We are halfway through the first round of competition here. Getting ready now for the team from the former Soviet Union, the Russian Republic performers. Svetlana Kozlova, a 17-year-old from St. Petersburg. And her teammate, Dmitry Karbonenko, who is from Kaliningrad, now training in Moscow.
Trains at the Soviet Army Sports Club. Would you please welcome
Svetlana is ranked 8 on her national team. This is her first time to the United States.
She placed second in the all-around in the recent American Cup. This is one of her better events, the uneven bars. By the way, she's the junior European champion in the all-around back in '89.
It's her first release move. Nice high ginger. She has tiny little form breaks throughout the routine. You'll notice sometimes her toes just aren't quite completely pointed. Here's her second, a reverse heck. Here's her dismount. It's a double layout. And she cranks it. Unfortunately, she bends her legs just a little bit in the air. Had to hop on the landing. Those will all be small deductions.
This is Svetlana's very first time to the United States.
We'll take a look at this dismount. It's a double layout. Now you'll see right here she bends her legs in the middle of the somersault. That will be a slight deduction, and so will that step. We talk about deductions all the time. Errors like that cost anywhere from a half a tenth of a point to a tenth, and if they're severe, 2 to 3/10 of a point.
Her teammate, also a Russian, Dmitry Karbonenko. And this guy has been a pleasure to get to know over the last few days. He's a real clown, one of the more outgoing Russian athletes we've ever met. By the way, the score for Kozlova on the bars, a 9.85. Wait till you see this tumbling. At 150 pounds and 5'7", this is a huge gymnast, and watch his power.
Beautiful full twisting double back in laid out position and done with ease.
Excellent combination of back tumbling to front tumbling. Once again, the gymnasts show an exercise that is primarily tumbling, but they have to show a balance move and a strength move. The strength move there was the press to handstand. He really is unusual in that he is 150 pounds, and it looks like he's about 180. I mean, this guy is gigantic.
Speaking of gigantic, there's a huge dismount coming up. It's another full twisting double back in an open tuck position. Very difficult. And again, he does all of these skills so easily.
Now the Russian pair need a 9.95 average to take the lead. No, with his 9.95, they could take the lead. His first tumbling pass, once again, Kathy, is really spectacular.
Watch the beautiful laid out position that he maintains throughout this skill. There's the full twist right there, and he opens up and just floats down for a very nice landing.
How do they do that so easily? I guess it's a combination.
I think if we knew that part, we'd probably still be competing.
It's both power and technique, certainly. Wow.
All he has is those little hops on the landing. And of course, those will be probably a tenth of a point. And it all depends, because they're so difficult. It might only take half a tenth of a point.
It appears to be a conference. The men are discussing the score for Karbonenko as Kozlova anxiously awaits. They've had a great time. They've been in Florida at the American Cup, and then they went to Disney World and spent the afternoon there. And it's been a terrific competition and a terrific chance for all of the teammates to get together and get to know each other.
I'm sure what the dilemma is here. You notice he took those hops on the landing, but they were on extremely difficult tumbling passes. So I'm sure there's some discussion as to what to do about the score.
It appears they've come up with an average of 9.75. You add that to the 9.85 of Kozlova, and their score, 19.6, puts them in second place currently. So we'll be back with more gymnastics as Kim Zmeskal of the U.S. is up next. Don't go away. And here she is, Kim Zmeskal, the current world all-around champion. And she's such a treat to watch, especially here on the floor where she's a bronze medalist at the World Championships.
She has entertained us with this very floor routine for a couple of years now. Always a crowd favorite. And of course, she's now in the history books, the first American ever to win the all-around at the World Championships. And with that comes some added pressure because, as she said, she feels like everybody's watching her now. It's her first tumbling pass. It's a whip back through to a full twisting double back.
Besides being a spectacular tumbler, she really is a good performer. She's really learned how to sell this exercise, hasn't she?
Certainly has. And it's choreographed well to show off what she can do. And this is a great pass. It's her trademark. 3 whip backs, count them. 1, 2, 3, all the way through to a double back.
Kim has been working on upgrading her level of difficulty, and she added at the recent American Cup a full twisting double for a dismount. You think she's going to try it today, Kathy?
I don't know. I didn't think she'd try it there because she didn't need to do it to win, and it showed a lot of guts and a lot of courage to put it in because she needs it for the upcoming World Championships. Let's see what she does. Sure looks like it. She's going for it. Whoa! Just pulled it around. That's tough. It's nice to see because it didn't come easily. She worked really hard to do that. Here's the first pass. It's a whip back that she does so well right there. Through to a full twisting double back in pike position.
She's the only American ever to win the gold medal in the all-around at a World Championships.
And everybody's favorite pass. A lot of energy in this run.
9 years of gymnastics, and she's been very successful. Kim Zmeskal.
One thing that she really has worked so hard on is the landing. And you can see here, she really works for this. She has to pull it in such a tight pike, right there. And just gets it around. That's a sign of a champion.
Kim's partner this evening in our 1992 McDonald's International.
So Kim Zmeskal pushing herself, adding the difficulty and scoring a 9.9 in floor exercise. Her partner, Jared Hanks, out of the University of Oklahoma and the 1992 American Cup champion now, if he can score better than a 9.9, they can take the lead over Shannon Miller and Scott Keswick.
Jared has certainly been inspired over the last year. He's really on a roll. He won the Winter Nationals and then the American Cup.
This combination coming up right here is unbelievable. Watch this, right up to a plunge and press to a handstand.
The judges are always looking for elements of originality. That's certainly one of them.
Jared has been one of those gymnasts for many years that we have said if he could just apply himself and get a little more consistent, he'll be the #1 gymnast in America. Well, it started to happen just several months ago, and at the recent Winter Nationals, he was first place in the all-around. That's the re-ranking of the national team, so he is the leader of the U.S. men's team. that is currently 5th in the world.
And he ends with a full twisting double back.
From the United States, Jared Hanks.
Little pressure on Jared Hanks because his teammate Kim Zmeskal, she pushed herself to end with a double back with a full twist. And let's take a look once again at this combination on the floor. Jared's tumbling is terrific, but this is an original combination from a breakdancing position. He cranks this up right to a plunge. It's essentially like doing a push-up without your feet on the ground. Presses up to a handstand.
He ended with a full twisting double back in tucked position. And like Kim, you could see he had to work for this. Didn't come that easy. Just that one little step off to the side.
So a very strong effort for the pair of Zmeskal and Hanks. They seem pretty relieved. If he scores a 9.7, they will qualify to the second round. Keep in mind that only 2 American pairs out of this round will go on. 9.7 is the score for Jared Hanks. So along with a 9.9 for Kim Zmeskal, a 19.6, and they will move on to the second round of competition here from Tallahassee. We'll be back. And welcome back once again to the Civic Center here in Tallahassee. Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson. Let's take a look at our current standings after the first round. Shannon Miller and Scott Keswick hold the lead over the Chinese pair. Kim Zmeskal and Jared Hanks are tied with the Russians, and you'll notice there that Wendy Bruce and Chris Waller will not advance because they're the 3rd American pair. Only 2 will advance, and these are the rest of the teams that will go on to round 2. Now, world-class gymnastics is not new to Tallahassee. 1980 Olympian Ron Gallimore lives here. Let's spend some time getting to know Tallahassee's favorite son. 6 years ago, after an unsuccessful stint in Hollywood, Ron Gallimore moved back to his home in Tallahassee to fulfill a dream of his own, to produce gymnastic champions. Gallimore's place in sports history was all but guaranteed by a man he really never got to know. His father, Willie Gallimore of the Chicago Bears, died in a tragic car accident when Ron was just 6 years old.
When I was young, and when he died, I knew he was a professional football player. I watched him on TV. I wouldn't go to the games. I go to 1 or 2 games. I didn't want to freeze in Soldier Field. After we lost him, and I got a little older, and especially when I got into gymnastics and started to travel a little bit, I started meeting people that knew him and would recognize the name, and they would tell me stories and tell me even more background about him, and I realized just who the guy was and the impact that he had on
Remember
on the
her
country.
perfect 10 at the
And
Indianapolis
I became a little
Worlds to clinch
jealous in
the
some
first
ways
ever
that
team.
a lot of them had a chance to spend more time than he did. You know, I became a little sad that I didn't have an opportunity to have the father-son talks that a lot of fathers have with their sons and things of that nature. And but I was happy, at least, that all the things that were said were positive and good about him. And all I wanted to do from my gymnastics career is be able to have people say the same kind of things about me.
And they did say great things about Ron Gallimore. As a leader of the Iowa State gymnastics team, Gallimore became the first gymnast in NCAA history to score a perfect 10. He did it on the vault.
It was a time when they didn't give 10s. You know, it was a time when they didn't give it. So I thought, well, they're not going to give it. And when I finally landed it, and I walked off, and it was a stuck vault for me. And it was a good vault, as good as any of them. I didn't think that I'd get it. And so I walked off and went, yeah, okay. And they flashed it. I was blown away. You know, I couldn't believe it. And it was fun.
But the fun faded quickly as the reality of the 1980 U.S.-led Olympic boycott took its toll on the normally optimistic Gallimore.
I made the team, and I realized what had been taken away from me. The recognition of making the Olympic team and being the first black wasn't given in the way that it would have been if I competed in the Olympics. From that day on, I became very sad, you know, because I had lived for years, you know, jumped out of bed, done an extra 50 sit-ups, done all the extra stuff in order to try and make the team. And it took me about 5 years to pick myself up and not feel sorry for myself and say that if I'm capable of accomplishing big things, then I just need to refocus my energy and get another goal and put it in there again, and something good will happen. And the first goal that I had was coming back home and opening up a gymnastics school.
So Ron Galibor, now back to his roots here in Tallahassee, surely hopes to produce champions, but he has a more important goal in mind, to produce fine young men and women.
I had a coach that coached me down in Fort Lauderdale named Jack Miles, and we were taking a trip, and this is when I was about 13, 14 years old.